we've been testing Kalida at Virginia Tech for several years now under various conditions. We've had sites on both creeping bentgrass and on ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. We've applied during the optimal growing conditions for each of those grasses. We've applied them on the tail ends of the growing seasons. So far from what we've seen with Kalida, we've been very impressed. We have seen no issues with phytotoxicity, none of the regulation that we would expect to see with a lot of DMI fungicides, and certainly safety has not been anything that we have been concerned with so far based on everything we've seen in conditions across Virginia, in different places we've looked at it.
For cool season disease or cool season grasses, I might pick two there: summer patch and anthracnose, because it can be applied in July and August with very little risk of burning the turf. And we know this, some of the other DMIs, that may not be the case, and you may not be able to get both diseases, summer patch and anthracnose, even with some of the newest chemistry.
So I see Kalida fitting in a program. One of the things that's nice about Kalida is that it has a DMI and an SDHI with fluindapyr and flutriafol. So anywhere where you would make applications using those modes of action, Kalida is going to give you really excellent control.
So where would Kalida compare to other products? Well, interestingly enough, it's one of the more unique products because there's not many mixtures of SDHIs and DMIs together. So it makes a nice rotation partner. And one of the things I've talked about a lot lately is we have a lot of QOI DMI mixtures. We have a lot of SDHI QOI mixtures, but not an SDHI DMI. Now that sounds confusing, but it makes a nice, I think, whether it's early in the year, because the SDHI in Kalida seems to have some activity that's a little bit different from its competitors, and you're getting that DMI, or as I've already mentioned, you can come back in July or August when it's hot, and you're not going to risk any phytotoxicity there.
So we've looked at Kalida and FAME in the same program for disease control in a number of trials. We've had those products in combination in trials for fairy ring as well as trials for large patch. What we've seen in both situations is that when Kalida and FAME are used in concert in a disease control program for those diseases, they've performed excellently. Certainly with large patch, Kalida is a standout among its peers and its competitor products in terms of being able to control large patch. We've seen excellent disease control with Kalida for large patch. We've also seen excellent control for fairy ring with Kalida, and then the combination with FAME in that situation elevated the control. So it gives you a rotational option to switch up different modes of action, because Kalida has a DMI and an SDHI, and then FAME is a QOI. So by making those combination applications, a kind of a 1-2 punch, you're changing the modes of action. So you're helping rotate your products and your modes of action for resistance management, but you're also able to continue to achieve really superior disease control with things like fairy ring and large patch.
So we've looked at FAME and Kalida in the same program in a couple of situations on both creeping bentgrass and ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. By rotating FAME with Kalida and incorporating that in with other fungicides, we've seen that you're able to control a lot of different diseases while still rotating your modes of action, which is very important in resistance management.